Okay.
Stanza 1. Sunset and evening star, and one clear call for me, and may there be one morning of the bar when I put out to sea. The very first line of this stanza of Crossing the Bar puts the poem in a particular time of day. The evening star that it time describes is another name for Venus. Venus is known as both the evening star and the morning star, dependent on whether it is winter or summer, which means this poem is based in the winter. Whilst Venus represents the goddess of love, this is certainly no love poem, and its inclusion is clearly just to point to what the time is. I'm not sure what the narrator is referencing when they mention clear call. The poem is quite dated, but doesn't appear to be nautical term. Perhaps this line is meant to be taken literally. Maybe it is made to suggest that the narrator's voice carries, perhaps due to the weather or the location, or alternatively, he feels as though he's being called to by the heavens. The bar, which is physically a sandbar, represents the line between living and dying. When the narrator says there's to be no money at the bar, they are saying that there shouldn't be any sadness or complaining about their pacing. Throughout this poem, the narrator makes references to being at sea. Traveling at sea is used as a metaphor for the journey from life on into death.
Yes, good, Ali. Very good. Thank you so much. Yes, Fatima Zahra.
Yes, doctor, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Sorry. فقط انضم
Introduction.
أحد. Yes, okay, sorry. Yes, go on, please.
Introduction. Coursing the Bar is the poem by the British Victoria poet Alfred Tennyson. The poem, written in 1998, took motivation on the death which seen the speaker compare dialing or the certain way of dialing to gently crossing the sandbar between the coastal area and the wind sea ocean. In essence, it to the poem that encouraging the death and the fact can comfort point of view based on the speaker relation fate on the afterlife according that the speaker went today quality to gentle with the fair reassured by that knowledge what come next is meet of with God. According the bar was writing shortly before العفو before Tennyson when death and is the bone that Tennyson wanted placed or to the end and the future collection and edition of his bone. Next, the themes. One, death and extent. Death and the exception of major subject consider in the poem. The poet talk about his alone death. However, that the tone of the poem is not sad and memorable. The poet is merry wondering about his death. He does not fear death. It's saying that he has accepted his fate. He say that was most not fair. Death as the animate relate after human had crossed over to the next world. Therefore, we must not be say about our deep birth and accept is eventually at the end of the poem. And the speaker hopes to meet the pilot. The implies that the speaker is happy accepting death because he is eager to meet the pilot. By pilot, the speaker means God. Next theme, a concrete, the poem, the phrase, message of the Corgin and the military Hillary. The poem plus that man should be honorable and then lest is other to face to the fears up and down in their life. The poem encourage us to before accept death is the invariable. Three, old age. The poem talk about old age throughout he is references for saint and event, mostly people that because of old age. However, positive except of the old age that the Berg want people become when enough to accept the relief of death. They believe that death to beginning of the another life, the notion of the waiting on the bomb Dante's rebirth. For the bomb is speculative that dry home for the salt is not this word, but the other word through for and the individual must accept it his death in our word through his cure, how or induction. Yes, just enough.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, who else?
Yes,
No. Yes, Ali
good
Abdurrahman.
afternoon.
Yes, Ali. Good afternoon. Hello, Ali.
Yes,
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 go on,
I
please.
would present the theme and meaning of the Cross in the Bar.
Okay.
Yes, the enduring popularity of this short, motivative lyric lies in this ability to appeal to many people on many levels, despite attempt to limit it on interpretation. The poem's theme of the death and dying popular selection of memorials service over the years, including Tenson's own. The poem, however, has significance for our readers' daily life. A journey of itself requires individuals to travel regularly from the safety of home, crossing the threshold and into the unknown, like the world of Tenson's traveler, the world beyond the safe region is dark and mysterious. Yet, days end, people return home. In this way, crossing the bar draws parallels between familiar and repeated pattern of ordinary daily routine with nature's daily circles such as night and day and the flow ebb of the tide. Similarly, Tennyson includes the evening star and the pilot as reminders of the source that guide individuals. These elements eloquently diminishing the horror of death by drawing attention to the fact that the journey into death is merely part of the cycle. The going out is also returning home to the boundless deep from which is the traveler like all people came. That's enough. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much, Ali. Thank you. Yes. بعدين علي بعد أن فاطمة جمعة. فاطمة جمعة لامي.
لا
Yes.
دكتورة، فاطمة الزهراء كاظم هي آخر واحد. بقى
بعد
عندنا علي عزيز ما
فاطمة
حاضر.
الزهراء ما بيكم 10 فقط 5. Yes.
أي
Okay.
فقط دكتور، فقط 5.
Yes. Okay. Okay, شباب. Who can explain the weather of the final or in the final of the poem? What's the weather in this poem? Especially in the final or in the final stanza or the last stanza in the poem. الوضع شنو؟ شلون يعني المود same the mood of the poem. Melancholy, happiness or sadness. Yes, how does Tennyson see death as a homecoming in the poem Crossing the Bar? See the death of the homecoming in the
Yes,
poet,
doctor.
in the poem. Yes, yes, Hassan.
The crossing the bar express the death and end the human,
Yes,
and he is like a tragedy or sad story for his life from the sin to death,
very good. Yes,
and he express how his life as boring and he watched to die, but he can't because he can't suicide, but he wait the death, and that waiting is very hard to him.
very exactly. Very good. Yes, thank you so much, Hassan. Yes, Yusuf.
Yes. Yes, the speakers confronts in the death, in the phenomenon of the death, on the reality, the imminent death, and it
Yes,
emphasizes that the death is an avoidable phenomenon, and she
very,
fights a death like a kind of peace, after after and despite the thought of dying.
yes, very good. What's the mood of this poem, Ahmed, Yusuf? Sorry.
Yes, the mood like celebrates by coming the death.
Yes, sad or sadness or happiness.
Sadness.
Yes, very good. Yes, of what may or the evening star and evening bells be symbolic, as your friend mentioned to this idea, Ali Abdul Rada, mentioned to this idea. Who can explain this as a symbolic? Evening star or evening bell. Who can explain sorry this idea in the poem? What meaning by evening star or evening bell?
Sorry, again?
Yes, Ali. Yes, yes,
Sorry?
Ali. Repeat my question.
Yes.
Yes, Shabab. The question of what may the evening star and evening bell be symbolic or symbolic sorry يعني شلون تتوضح هنا السymbols or الرمزية بالقصيدة وين يعني بالضبط.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
The message of Crossing the Bar works where reflect the moral and intellectual value of the time. Poem Crossing the Bar could be interpreted to mean crossing sandbar out the sea. I think.
What mean by evening star? Evening star. What mean by evening star? Mention to what? Last
Yes,
of
teacher, can
day
I answer?
or yes, yes, Hussein.
The poem Crossing the Bar Tennyson offer the extended metaphor for death. His first line is
Yes,
sunset and evening star symbolize
very
to
good.
death and hope. Hope a
Very good.
new life after the death.
Very good. Yes, to death. The evening star refers to death or the last day or the evening. Yes. Who can explain the meaning of the first stanza? The first stanza of the poem. Who can explain the main idea or the theme in the first stanza of the poem? Yes, Yusuf.
Yes, yes. The first stanza describes and emphasizes the enduring popularity of this short and meditative lyric lies in its ability to appeal to many people on many levels, despite attempts to limit it to one interpretation. And the poems emphasize the themes of death and dying have made it a popular selection for memorial services over the years.
Very good. Very good, Yusuf. And what about the rhyme scheme in the poem? Rhyme scheme. What about the rhyme scheme in the poem? The system of the poetry. Rhyme scheme. You know, rhyme scheme شباب بتعرفوه ولا لا؟
Yes, doctor.
Yes, Yusuf.
Yes, yes. This poet consisting of four rhyming stanzas. Each lines
And four stanzas is
contains four lines. Yes, quatrain.
yes,
Yes, quatrain has alternating rhymes, giving an entire poem.
yes, yes. Okay. Yes, Hawra. Thank you so much, Yusuf. Yes, Hawra.
Yes, doctor. Rhyme scheme crossing in the bar has a highly regular rhyme scheme, following an AB pattern in each of its four stanza. This regularity
Very good.
gives the poem a climbing tone, reflection the speaker's perspective that death is not something to be feared. The consistency of the rhyme also conveys the inevitability of this tide going in and out. This is an especially useful effect given the line varies so much in length. The rhyme help keep the poem stable and mark out the translation from one line to the next.
Very good. Very good, Hawra. Shabab, how does Lord Tennyson um see death or the death? How can explain or who can explain how does Lord Tennyson see death? Yes. What's the moral lesson of the crossing the bar? What's the moral lesson? شوفوا هالأسئلة مهمة. Very important in the final. إن What is the moral lesson in the poem The Crossing or Crossing the Bar? Yes. It's Hussein.
Yes, doctor. The moral lesson on the poem: we should never fear or mourn the death, as nature is a process, and we see the death face to face, not fearing.
Yes, very good. Yes. Who can explain anything about the poem or the main idea in the poem?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Ali
Oh,
Abdullah.
Ali. Sorry.
So,
Ali, yes. Yes, go on, Ali.
okay. Sorry. The major theme of this poem, throughout the poem, we find many examples which indicate that the boat is taking about approaching down of his life. Although the poem is not or morbid or sad, yet describe the boat meditation over his death.
Yes, very good. Yes, Shabab. In these or in the lines of the poem, the boat the boat, yes, is, mentioned to the time and the space in the poem. What do you mean by these words? Yes, yes, Shabab. Who can answer? Yes. What can explain or who can explain what we mean by time and space in the poem? The the poet or speaker mentioned to these words, or is limited by time and space. Yes. What is or what meaning or what is the sandbar metaphor between our line between metaphor for the line between life and death والخط الفاصل بين الحياة والموت. هذا يعني فشي كلش مهم بالقصيدة، يعني لازم انتوا تعرفوه شباب. يعني هسه انتوا مجموعة قليلة جدا اللي يمكن قاريها القصيدة أو فاهميها، اللي هم يعدون على أصحابها واللي محضرين يمكن for our lecture for today. والبقية ليش؟ انتوا أكثر من 50 طالب. Yes. Yes. What mean by yes, Rania?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, Rania.
The moral lesson of the poem is that we should never fear or mourn death, as it is a natural process. In order to meet the Creator God face to face, we have to accept death calmly and crosses the boundary between life and death.
Yes, very good. Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
thank you.
Right. Yes. What is the role of the sea? What role does the sea play in the poem? رول يعني الدور. كان إلى دور البحر بالقصيدة شباب؟ Yes. Okay. Yes. Who is the pilot in the poem? Who is the pilot in the poem? Where does the boat hope to meet him? Yes, Yusuf.
Yes, at my point, in this point, the pilot is the god.
Yes, very good.
Yes,
Yes, he
yes,
or
and
the speaker does the boat hope to meet him. Yes, very good.
yes, and
Yes,
we soon to meet him.
yes, very good.
Yes.
What is the significance of the title crossing the bar? What meaning by this title? Yes, Hara.
Yes, Doctor, a metaphor in this poem, but simply the entire poem is an extant metaphor in which dying is compared
Very good.
to crossing over a standby into the ocean. The speaker consider their one death and show no fear because of their deep related belief that dying will bring about a meaning and in the afterlife.
Yes, very good. Yes, Hara. Thank you so much. Yes, Shabab. Who can participate or explain anything about this poem? Yes, Yusuf.
Yes,
ليش؟ يوم
I
واحد
want to
يطلع عليك.
clarify.
Yes,
Pardon?
thank you so much. Yes, yes.
Yes, I want.
Uh,
Sorry.
Yes, Yusuf.
Yes. Yes, I want to clarify personification. Poetic devices in this point.
Yes, okay.
Yes. Yes. Use personification or employment is to give human characteristic, as we said in the last and previous lectures. For example, in the third line in this poet, and may there be no mourning of the part. The poet personifies sound bath in the fifth line, but such a tide as moving seems asleep. He personifies the tide as if it can asleep like humans.
Yes, very good. morning شباب يعني الحزن أو الألم اللي دائما يعني all the events or all the poem refers to this idea, sorry. The speaker refers to this idea about the pain and mourning, or he hope or wishes يعني to receive the death in happiness, or not pain, no suffering or uh, crying. يعني هنا يريد استقبال الموت يكون شلون ما نقول احنا برحاب الصدر، يكون موت رحيم، موت يعني شبه السفر، يعني انت رايح بسفر ما رايح يعني راح تلتقي مع الله. فهو هنا بده يوضح بان يعني الانسان هاي شلون احنا نقول نهايه المطاف هو الموت، فكل انسان لازم يتقبل. هاي يعني شلون احنا نقول سنه الحياه، لازم يتقبل الموت ويتقبله بدون ألم، بدون بكاء، بدون حزن، بدون الكآبة. هذا دائما يصير عند الإنسان اللي يتمرض، يعني يوصل إلى مراحل يعني كلش متقدمة يعني من المرض حيث يوصل إلى الموت، شبه يعني يعني يوصل للموت، فيكون دائما كئيب وحزين ومتخوف. فهو كل هالأمور يطلب يعني بها مورال لسن بأن الإنسان لابد أن يكون يستقبل، يعني يكون مستقبل الموت برحاب الصدر، هيك مثل ما نقول احنا. يس رانيا.
Yes, Miss. Metaphor is a figure of speech in which an implied comparison is made between the objects that are different. Crossing the bar is a metaphor of death. Yes.
Yes, and the moral lesson is, thank you so much, Rania. And the moral lesson of the poem is we should not fear or mourn death, because when we die, we are going to meet our pilot or God. هذا هو هم المورال lesson of this poem. Yes, شباب. شباب هو حتبقى هذه القصيدة يعني اللي هنا احنا حننهيها القصيدة، وإن شاء الله حناخذ قصيدة جديدة in the next week إن شاء الله. لأن شوي أنتم يعني مو متأخرين، لكن الفيكتوريان بوتري يعني إحنا دخلنا بيها واحد من الرومانس بوتس اللي هو يمكن كان اللورد بايرن، وأخذ من وقت الفيكتوريان بوتري اللي إحنا لازم يعني هذا الأسبوع إحنا نشرح قصيدة جديدة. لكن إن شاء الله الأسبوع القادم حناخذ قصيدة جديدة شباب إن شاء الله. همين مثل ما إحنا يعني تعودنا بالسكند سمستر، أنا أقدم بالبداية وبعدين يبقى عليكم أنتم تقدمون مشاركتكم، وهذا عليه درجة حتى إن شاء الله يعني نعطيكم إياها على الساعة إن شاء الله الساعة الفاينل. فشباب thank you so much for all participants and for your listening. Thank you and goodbye.